Alright, so to create this holiday type of ball or ornament, we're going to start off, we're going to use our normal letter size document. Alright, so if we were creating a new document, we would be going to print, and I would like you to name it your last name, and then holiday ball. Ornament, that's fine. Alright, we're going to make our units as inches, and make sure your orientation is portrait orientation. Alright, so from that, then we're in our document, and we're going to start by just using the ellipse tool. We can click and drag, hold that shift key so that it's a perfect circle. The document or the circle? Document's 8.5 by 11. Alright, I'm going to check my size over here in my properties panel. So I'm going to make this 6 by 6. Yeah. Alright. So we have our circle, we have a stroke value that we're going to make a little bit thicker on here. I think like around 8 points will make it look nice there in the end. Alright. So we have our circle placed or created. Now we're going to place an image. So I say File, Place, and I think my picture is on the desktop right now, which isn't always the best thing to do. Alright, so it's when we place, it kind of loads it into the cursor. So we just click and drag to define how big we want to make that picture. Alright, now we do want to kind of center these up. Actually, I should have done the picture first probably, but it's alright. So if I right click and select Arrange, I can bring this circle back to the front. Alright, now I can go in here and I can try to make sure that this picture is placed in here the way I want it to. Alright, so I was trying to get Happy Holidays fit in here. Alright, this is gonna kind of be my holiday card I'm sending out to my friends and stuff this year. Alright, so we have the circle placed on top of the picture. Alright, and again, if you need to do some layer ordering, you can either go to your layers palette and move stuff around here, or if this needed to be brought to the front, we just select Arrange and then Bring to Front. Now for the magic of creating this mask. All I do now is I select both. I like to click and drag. You can also select one, hold the Shift key, and select the other. And then we're going to say Object, Clipping Mask, Make. And look at that. It masked out. It's basically hiding all that stuff in there. If we want to move the picture around inside of there. Alright, let's see. I forget how I did this. Let's see. If I double click this. There we go. Alright. So if you do find that position needs to be moved around, alright, we would just double click this layer or this object and see how now it goes to this clipping group. Sometimes you guys do this by accident. You don't realize you're getting into this isolation mode with certain types of drawings. But now you can move that picture around within there. Alright, so I lost my stroke by doing that. I'm going to go back and reapply that. So that would be my picture in there. Alright, now while I'm talking about shapes, to create our cut line, we could do this two ways. Probably the better way for future items is go to Object, Path, and then Offset Path. Alright, and we should be able to see that in here. Now, if I do that, where did it go? Is it this one? I believe, no, that's for my one up top. Not sure why that's not showing up. For this simple project of just making it a lot around it, I'm going to find the center of my circle, which actually that wasn't it. If you hover around, I do see, and you probably guys don't see it on my screen, but if I hover, you should see something that pops up that says center. Alright, then if I press Alt and Shift, it makes that circle start from the center there All right, and then we can kind of fit it to where we want it to be. Now, to make the laser recognize this, we need to have our stroke weight of that to be 0.072 points. All right, so now we have this line that's around here. This is going to be our cut line. And then all we have to do is finish with our type. So I'm going to go in here. I'm going to type in here. Yeah, I'll use that afterwards. So I'm going to select all my type. I want to get the red that I'm using otherwhere, so I'm going to use my pen or my eyedropper tool rather to see or sample that color. All right, well, yeah, that was about 5 steps back, so I'm going to finish and then I'll go back.
I think I set it to how big does it have to be?
Should be 8.5 by 11.
And it's landscape or oriental?
Doesn't really matter.
Okay, so it's
All right, so I'm going to do my text here, and then by using the selection tool, I can go to Effect, Warp, and I would do Arc Lower in this case, and we can kind of fit this or make that match, something like that. Maybe I choose my color again, or maybe I'll pick like a sand color. Throw a stroke around it. Oh, why didn't that work? Oh, that's why. I just went to Effect and then Warp. All right, so this is the base, all that's required. So you have your image masked in there. You have a stroke around the circle. We have 2 lines of text, Happy Holidays, and then your name, and then your cut line at 0.072. So I'm going to save this again. I will grab my settings from up top here. So this kind of is saying what we have there. Stroke weight 0.072, and I'll take that off. All right, so it should be saved to as your name, Holiday Ball, and Illustrator, Holiday Ball shared folder. And let me just put a couple more things on here. So the requirements for this. So image, masked, 6 by 6 circle, 2 lines of text. One of them is warped. We also have our cut line. All right, I think that covers it. I do have the speed and power settings down here. You know, how about we write that so you guys don't forget it when you open up your document. All right, so down here, I want you to write in there that this is going to be a vector. We're just going to be printing a vector. That means we're just cutting. And I'll say epilogue settings. What size font do I have here? That looks big. All right, so the speed is going to be 100. power is 10, and that's percentage. All right, and I'll do that same thing here, percent. And our size is going to be 8.5 for width. I'm just going to put W there, and 11 for the height. All right, so please let me print this out first, and then let me just double check your size, then you can save it, and then you can go into the studio and cut this out.